Capricorn rising natives can come off as a bit of a mystery to others. On one hand, they can seem responsible or sarcastic, and on the other hand, they can be idealistic and very intuitive. So they can be a little hard to read if you do not intimately know them. But in today's video, we are going to take a deeper, more intimate look into what it's like to have a Capricorn rising. So if you know a Capricorn rising and you're having a hard time figuring them out, or if you yourself have this placement and want to know about yourself in a more intimate way, then stay tuned as we deep dive into what it's like to have your ascendant in Capricorn. What's up, Buttercups? How are y'all doing today? We are diving into the intriguing world of my little mountain goats today. Now, the rising sign is the same thing as your ascendant in astrology, and the rising sign is the constellation that was rising in the eastern horizon at the exact moment you were born. And if you or someone you know has this ascendant, you will know how complex and fascinating it can be. Capricorn rising people often come off as responsible, grounded, serious, but there's so much more beneath the surface. These natives may come across as mature or poised, stoic. They can seem distant or mysterious. I mean, there's often a sense of intrigue surrounding them because try as you might, it can be hard to figure them out completely. They may have Neptune in their first house, which adds a certain fog to their identity with this placement. People are often drawn to them, but they can't quite put their finger on who they really are. Capricorn rising individuals are beautiful. They have a unique look, but it's stunning. And I've always thought anyone with Venus or Neptune near their ascendant was gorgeous. And if you are a part of the Neptune and Capricorn generation, which I believe is somewhere between 1984 and 2000, then you may very well have Neptune somewhere close to your ascendant. You can also have Uranus there. And now this Pluto in Capricorn generation will have their Pluto in their first house. So it's very possible in this day and time that you have at least one of your outer planets in your first house with a Capricorn rising. Often they have this understated, timeless kind of elegance about them. They may not follow trends or chase after the latest fashions. They're the ones that can stick to a style that is uniquely their own, or they can prefer vintage or classic looks. I mean, they just have this sense of elegance about them. This can also add to their mysterious aura because it feels like they exist outside of mainstream trends. Another reason they are mysterious is because Capricorn risings tend to present themselves one way in a professional setting. You know, they can be reserved and serious and efficient. And they can have a really well-crafted image online. But they can be completely different when they're with close friends or loved ones. I mean, with loved ones, they can be much more lighthearted or even silly or sarcastic. They can crack jokes and they let their guard down. Now, this doesn't mean they're being fake. It just means that they're more comfortable and they allow themselves to truly emerge more in intimate settings. Are you starting to understand Capricorn risings more? If you are dating one and you want to know how your energy works with theirs, then be sure to book a synastry reading with me, where I can look at your energies and see how compatible they are with my little mountain goat. I will leave a link in the description below. Despite their playfulness, Capricorn risings are still grounded, even in their lighthearted moments. And they can also be very attracted to music with this placement. So in mythology, Capricorn is often associated with a character named Pan, and Pan had a flute that he made. So you may find that these natives are drawn to music. Capricorn is an earth sign, so no matter what, they are still grounded somewhat in life. They can be a Sagittarius sun with a moon and a Sagittarius Venus and a Sagittarius Mercury and be optimistic and extroverted and joyful and seem carefree. But if they have a Capricorn rising, they will still have a piece of them that is responsible enough to not be completely reckless. This doesn't mean that they don't take risks or gambles in life. They do. But they are way more calculated and strategic with their moves. They will gamble on something if they believe that they have a legitimate chance of gaining value from it. Evolved Capricorn risings know how to balance being responsible with having fun. You know, they've got a mountain goat's determination to reach the top of whatever goal they have set for themselves. Mountain goats climb their mountain steadily, and it may take time, but they do get to the top. In fact, Capricorns are known for being hard workers, and they often start their journey with this mindset that they need to prove themselves. And that need to prove themselves can actually get them caught into some tricky situations when they're in relationships. We'll get to that a little later on in the video. These are the children who could have been labeled mature. They seem so much older than they really are, or maybe they hung out with older people. But the interesting thing is that sometimes they can be more serious when they were younger, and they gradually act more childlike as they age. One of the most fascinating qualities of a Capricorn rising is how they interact with time. This sign is ruled by Saturn, which is the planet of time and structure. They are often conscious of how they spend it. If a Capricorn rising gives you their time, they are showing you that they value you, because for them, time is precious and they do not like to waste it. And they're not likely to invest in things or people that don't serve their long-term vision. They're goal-oriented people. Now, I have always thought of Aries as the hunters of the zodiac, and Capricorns and Geminis are the gatherers. You know, Aries darts into situations and they're bold and daring and fearless. And Capricorns, they gather things in life. They can gather their thoughts. That's why they need a lot of alone time sometimes. They can gather knowledge. They can gather lessons. They gather their family together. They gather their resources together. They gather connections that they can use throughout life. And with all the things that they gather in life, they begin to build, and they continue to build until they have an empire. Capricorn risings often approach relationships with a similar sense of strategy and practicality. They can be selective about who they let in, and it may take time for them to trust somebody fully. But once they do, they are fiercely loyal and reliable. But their loyalty is earned and not given freely. But if you're in, you will have a partner that is always there for you. Now, many Capricorn risings feel that they have this need to prove their love, or their partners need to prove their love to them or their loyalty to them. And many of them can have transactional relationships. That's the ones where they have clear roles, okay? I do this and I take care of this, and you do that and you take care of this. And when you first meet them, Capricorn risings can sometimes come off as distant or not overly affectionate. They may not be the type to just give you a warm hug and be affectionate when you first meet, unless it's possible they have a Venus on the Ascendant that can come off as warm and affectionate, but they are often business-like when they first meet somebody, okay? Everything is structured until they know where to place you in their mind's organization. But once they feel secure in a relationship, they will go all out to show their love. And they can be incredibly devoted and supportive. They can spoil their partners. I mean, they often have really good taste, so they don't mind to spend money on their partners. If anything does hurt a Capricorn rising, they usually carry on business as usual. On the outside, they may seem solid, dependable, and stoic, but on the inside, they can be in a swirl of emotions. They are like the land and the sea, you know, strong and steady on the outside, but an ocean of feelings beneath the surface. And this complexity often leads to this sense of mystery because you might not fully ever know what they're feeling unless they choose to share it with you. Another thing that Capricorn risings can be great at is efficiency. They are fantastic at organizing, leading, and managing resources. I mean, they really do have this unique ability to read a room, and they can identify who would be the best fit for which specific role, and they make sure everything runs smoothly, whether that's in their business or their personal life. They're excellent at creating structure and ensuring everything is moving towards a clear goal. They do not like being in group situations where one person is carrying the workload. They like to see everyone participating and making the project move forward. And this native also may always anticipate scarcity in the future. So they may have a lot of physical things or hold on to things because they feel like they may be able to use them one day. A Capricorn rising might not always be able to show their vulnerability, but deep down, they want to create a stable and secure home life. Family and loved ones are important to them, and you know, they really will work tirelessly to build a strong foundation for those that they care about. And they can be fiercely protective of their loved ones, and they are drawn to relationships that are tight-knit, meaningful, and long-lasting. Now, Capricorn risings can love learning about the subconscious mind or anything that helps them understand themselves better. They may be drawn to study subjects that allow them to grow intellectually and spiritually. And if you ever want to see the hero's journey played out for a Capricorn rising, then you should read or watch A Christmas Carol. Ebenezer Scrooge went through the journey of being an unevolved Capricorn rising to becoming an evolved version. At the start of the story, Scrooge is the epitome of an unevolved Capricorn rising. He's cold, miserly, and just disconnected from his emotions. But after a spiritual awakening and seeing 3 ghosts, he transforms into a generous, compassionate man. An example of what an evolved Capricorn rising can become. You know, someone who understands the importance of relationships and time and is willing to share both of those with those they care about. So if you have a Capricorn rising, how has this played out for you and shown up in your life? I would absolutely love to hear your experiences. And if you're interested in learning more about yourself, then I invite you to check out my videos on aspects in the natal chart. It's a great way to deepen your understanding of who you are. And if you want to dig even deeper into who you are as a person, then I encourage you to book a natal reading where I will send you an audio file highlighting the energies that you were born with and how you can use these energies to become the best version of yourselves. I will leave a link in the description below. As always, my little mountain goats, I have enjoyed unraveling this placement with you today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Mwah!